That's a good one.
Howdy and aloha. Welcome to my talk. The earth and you are ohana. We hope you stay and talk.
All right. Howdy and aloha, everyone. It's James with Monotalk. Blog Talk Radio 2014, 2017 started Monotalk. 2017, early 2017, 2016, 17. And I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on every day and twice on, all week long and twice on Sundays, man. It's pretty crazy out there. It's like I said a year ago or so, 2024 is going to be a nightmare. And I think you guys are feeling that now. And seeing it and feeling it, and right? It's just been nuts. The Democrats, along with the Republicans, are or have been created this insane bill. And, the title of the show is basically stop giving these fucking idiots money. It's just ridiculous. A fucking awesome integral part of the Republican Party, or the actual Republican Party, not the Republican Party. Eric Schmidt, he is a senator here in Missouri. Always in the right position. God, family, country first, stuff like, patriotic stuff, good stuff, which I think is important. Said this.
You were a open borders think tank and tried to come up with two clever ways to get around whatever it is that they're trying to do in this bill, you would do two things. One is you would remove the courts from the asylum process, which is what they're doing here. They have these asylum agents that are true believers in open borders, approving citizenship essentially at the border. That will only be a magnet for the cartels telling these folks what to say when they get there. The second piece is any way to, actually force Joe Biden to enforce the law would be removed, because Texas can't even do it in their home jurisdiction. They have to come to the D.C. circuit, which has been mentioned as a liberal circuit. So if you did those two things, this is a win for you if you're an open borders crowd. They got those two things in this bill. That's just two things. So you were a open borders think tank and tried to come up with two clever ways to get around whatever it is that they're trying to do in this bill. You would do two things. One is you would remove the courts from the asylum process, which is what they're doing here. They have these asylum agents that are true believers in open borders, approving citizenship essentially at the border. That will only be a magnet for the cartels telling these folks what to say when they get there. The second piece is any way to, actually force Joe Biden to enforce the law would be removed, because Texas can't even do it in their home jurisdiction. They have to come to the D.C. circuit, which has been mentioned as a liberal circuit. So if you did those two things, this is a win for you if you're an open borders crowd. They got those two things in this bill. That's just two things. So you were...
Yeah, you went on and on and on, but some good stuff. So this is the short list of how Biden created the border crisis. Proposed amnesty on day one in office. That means everybody in the free world that's still free can just walk right in and get amnesty and be, and it's really interesting, because There's an actual app. I don't know if I saved that, but I'm going to look for it because I think it's good to have that information in front of us right now. The way they created this is, let me see, thousands of Irish. Here it is right here. Watch this.
American people know that if you head to the airport, you want to jump on a flight here in the United States, you bring a valid form of ID. I always use my Montana driver's license. I imagine some of you, maybe it's even happened to yourself, you show up at the airport, you run a little late, might have forgotten an ID back home. You don't try to enter through TSA to get to the terminal because you know you'll be turned back without a valid form of ID. This is an
Right.
actual sign that's popped up at the Delta terminal at the Miami airport. Instructions for illegals to use their CBP One app, that's the Customs Border Patrol app, at TSA checkpoints as a valid form of ID to board a plane in the United States. For those who don't know, the CBP One app provides appointments for migrants who are claiming asylum at the border. Migrants, particularly those wanted for crimes, can fill in any basic information they want in the app and be let into the country. The goal is to, and I quote, validate adult non-U.S. citizen travel documentation when the traveler does not otherwise have an acceptable form of identification. However, it also notes that photos are optional. It says that multiple times. It says it can provide biographical information if requested, but notes that information is not stored, again, multiple times. How is this even serious? Illegals coming to the United States from countries that are designated state sponsors of terror and on terror watch lists can use this process. Americans, think about this for a moment. We, as Americans, are going to be forced to acquire a real ID by May of 2025, or you or anybody else here, myself, will be barred from boarding a flight in the United States. How in the world can we justify this when illegal immigrants are allowed to can use this process? Americans, think about this for a moment. We, as Americans, are going to be forced to acquire a real ID by May of 2025, or you or anybody else here, myself, will be barred from boarding a flight in the United States. How in the world can we justify this when illegal immigrants are allowed to board planes with unverifiable information they filled out on an app? The administration, the Senate Democrats say they're concerned.
Are you getting that? Anybody understanding that? Right? I mean, let me just go over this real quick. How Biden created border crisis, proposed the amnesty on day one in his office. Hey, everybody, come on in. It's all good. Seized border wall construction. Like, I don't know if that's really the hugest deal, but it's important now. Sought to freeze deportation for 100 days. Freezing deportation. Ended cooperative asylum agreements. Terminated the national emergency at the southern border. It's not an emergency. It's okay. Come on in. It's all good. It's all good. Come on in. Everything's fine. Come in. Right? A lot of federal funding to be sent to sanctuary cities. Absolutely. One of the reasons why I made this Mana Talk video. And also scrapped fines for illegal immigrants who failed to leave the U.S. Rescinded Trump's public charge rule. That was huge. People looked that up. Released millions of illegal aliens to free travel in the U.S. Yeah, absolutely. Established unlawful categorical parole programs for them as well. So if they get in trouble, it's not a big deal. Just keep, raping and pillaging and stealing and theft and crap. Decrease the criminal activity on its own is not enough to deport. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's a lot of information on this, just letting you know. And a lot of people out there that are really upset about this. And, $10 bill is now basically $1. This new $1 bills are pretty awesome. Bidenomics, F the WEF. But here's the number I want you to see. Okay? I don't give a fuck what this puppet. I don't even know who the fuck that guy is. So remember I said, and I've always said this, I'm not against people coming into our country. I'd like them to do it legally. I think that's important. I mean, we have, where I'm at, okay, you can go to any D1, D2 school and you'll see foreign exchange students, and they have to go through a pretty rigorous process to come into the United States to go to school. That's not the case here now. In the past 3 years, it's been pretty crazy. But they work, and they can only work 20 hours a week, and they help to pay off their loans, and da-da-da-da-da. There's a fucking pretty rigorous process. There's a lot of people that I think, can't do. Yo, brother, hey, how you doing, Jordan? Good seeing you, buddy. Let's just be completely upfront here. So, like I said, I worked on an avocado ranch for my grandfather, his avocado ranch, for about 29 years. Off and on weekends, whenever I could get down there since I was a kid. And I worked alongside the Mexicans. And I'm telling you, good luck trying to keep up with these people. They fucking work their asses off. Right? And that's why your fruit used to be, 32, 38 cents for an avocado. Now it's a lot different. But anyway, there's more to that. But they were hardworking people. We used to, we had a couple of generations that used to work with us, and we had a old mobile home in the back. They would stay there, and we'd get them their lunches were paid for, and we paid them pretty decent. Most of the money that they received, though, goes back to their families in Mexico. This is the way it's always worked. And they would bring in per year, 400,000 illegals, 600,000, 700,000, not really going over 8. In the past few decades, probably in the past 4 or 5 decades, the average, let's just say 500 to 600,000 per year. In 2020, it was 400,000. That was the last year of Trump. I've had a few taco parties with these guys, man. I'm telling you, they know how to party. They love their cerveza, I'll tell you that. They're hard workers. And a lot of those people actually became U.S. citizens. They went through the process, and they moved out here, and they started companies and construction companies and stuff like that, and they did very well. And they're still doing very well. And that's good. And I'm okay with the process and doing the right things, but this is out of control. And if you think it's not an invasion, these are the numbers. In 2020 was 400,000, give or take a few. 2021 was 1.7 million, 2.3 million in 2022, 2.4 million in 2023. Illegal border encounters. These are illegal border encounters. These aren't the guesstimations of the 8.4 million that have came in since 2021. Since 2021. And about 10 to 15% of those people, we have no idea where they're from, what they're doing, why they're here. And a lot of them, and I think the number was, I think they're at about 200 or 300 known on the watch list on CIA, FBI, Department of Justice, Homeland Security, watch list individuals that they've apprehended. Just the ones that they've apprehended, either with cartel or with M13 or with Al Qaeda or ISIS or terrorist groups that have been labeled as for terrorist groups, because we've made so many friends over the past few decades. This is just fucking nuts. And right now the problem with what's happening with this bill, as this man here has been stating, what did I do with that? Here, Eric Schmidt. This guy's a fucking bull, man. He gets it. He understands. But the problem here, and if you look at, let me see here. Where's that number? Right here. Right here. The Democrats, every time they ask for anything, their money goes where? Where does all their money go? Does anybody know? Because I'm going to tell you, it doesn't go to you. It doesn't go to your schools. It doesn't go to your infrastructure. It doesn't go to your potholes. It doesn't go to your colleges. It doesn't go to your high schools, your public. It doesn't go. It goes to 80% of the funds to other nations, NATO, UN. It goes to feeding the coffers, these giant coffers, fucking vaults of money, to the, and here's the word, global pedo predator class. That's where all this money goes. It's to build up the New World Order agenda. And Eric Smith kind of gets it, and I think some people are starting to get it too. But the Democrats, their agenda is alongside and connected to the hip of Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, and these global pedo predator class fucking psychopaths. And this is where that money goes. I don't want to see any more deals. Fuck bipartisan anything. If a senator comes up to you or you see him on TV or YouTube or whatever, and they're saying, "Oh, we're creating a bipartisan bill," the fuck you. We don't want anything to do. You don't want anything to do with the Democrats right now or the Republicans. You don't want anything to do with these people. Because every fucking penny they get, or they write off on, or they create, or they manufacture, or they just whip out of their ass. We're at $34 trillion in debt. We've created more debt in the past 3 years than we have at a rate it's never happened before. This is nuts. And every fucking time, this money goes straight to BlackRock, straight to State Street, straight to Fidelity, straight to J.P. Morgan, straight to the Enron, straight to fucking Lockheed Martin, straight to fucking future campaign donors. None of this fucking money is doing anything for us. The people that have been working and living and slaving here and paying our taxes and having to use fucking Jackson Hewitt and fucking H&R Block and Intuit and all these fucking programs and platforms and websites and services to do our fucking taxes. It's none of this money is helping us. It's going to the invasion of the United States of America. That's what this is going to. This invasion has nothing to do with. Let me rephrase it. These people coming in here, okay, these 8.4 million in the past almost 4 years now, it has nothing to do with fixing this country, but everything to do with taking it down. Nothing to do with fixing or helping. I mean, anybody want to come on my show? Anybody want to come on and tell me how allowing 10 million people, by the time this administration is done with, it's going to be about 10 million. How that's going to fix anything? Because most of it's being done for redistricting, or putting people, or saying that there's a certain amount of voters by the certain amount of people that live in the state. There's a whole slew of things that are going to be, that these people are being used for. They don't care. A lot of them want to come in and do their thing, and I get it. But there's also the big threat. There's also a giant threat that, like I said, we're not making a lot of friends out there with the Middle East. We're not making a lot of friends, across Europe. We're not making a lot of friends across the fucking planet. Africa. There are countries in Africa that fucking hate us. Thank you, Bill Gates, and his genocidal shit that he's been injecting people with for fucking ever. It's just crazy. Right? There's a lot of fucking countries that they're really sick of our shit, and there's some of them have been drastically, heinously, just horrendously affected by our coups, our wars, the things that we've done to them for years and years and decades and decades. Yeah, we don't... This could turn into the Red Dawn. Like, I've said this for fucking a few years now. There was a bill that was created. There was some laws that were passed. There were some executive orders, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. During when fucking Fluvid-19, appeared. That they fucking put a lot of money into these foreign programs, into funding foreign programs, and into funding foreigners as agents, special agents of a particular industry, etc. I sent the information to Ryan Christian. He looked at it. He goes, very interesting. And then I think he did. He's hopefully he still has that information. I don't know if he's done much with it. But the problem is, why? I mean, the question is why? Why do you want to allow all these people in right now when we can barely afford? You just saw it, Bidenomics. The $10 bill. Am I right? The $10 bill is fucking, what is that worth now? Where is it? I have it in there somewhere. I don't know. Here. Right? This is what a dollar does. A dollar has become that $10 bill is now worth $1. According to the inflationary process out there. Yeah, I'm watching surfing behind you. They got the Pipeline Masters or something. It's pretty cool to watch. But my goal here tonight is to inform you that the reasoning for these millions and millions of people that are coming in has nothing to do with helping you. It's the opposite. It's to allow that the white hats and the blue hats, UN, NATO, whoever, will have to come in and fix a lot of shit. And that's what their goal is. And then basically corporate governance, remember I said this because I hope it doesn't get this way, but remember I said this, is that they're going to take over. You just don't, you think it's not going to happen. I'm telling you, it's fucking getting crazy. Right? It's fucking getting crazy. Like like I said, all these people. Where is this here? All these people here hate Donald Trump. Right? All politicians who receive donations from Epstein. Look at those people. You guys know most of those are, I think all of them. Most of them were Elliot Spencer, Bob Pickett. The majority of them were Republicans. Right? Isn't that crazy? That's just a short list. But everybody that's on the Epstein Island's list hates Donald Trump and are scared of him. Why do you think that is? Right? There's a lot of things happening that some can't really understand. I wanted to read this one. Let me see. Just in saying, Dr. Phil tells Hannity he was shocked by a visit to U.S.-Mexico border. Yeah, he was shocked. He's like, what the fuck is happening? Right? He's just fucking, what the fuck is happening? It's nuts. It's just fucking nuts, man. You know? Here, watch this.
East Coast. Down here's Mexico. First wave of the attack came in disguised as commercial and charter flights, same way they did in Afghanistan in '80. Only they were crack airborne outfits. They took these passes in the Rockies.
So that's what hit Calumet.
I guess so. They coordinated with selective nuke strikes, and the missiles were a hell of a lot more accurate than we thought. They took out the silos here in the Dakotas, key points of communication.
Like what?
Oh, like Omaha, Washington, Kansas City.
Gone?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
that's right. Filtrators came up illegal from Mexico. Cubans, mostly. They managed to infiltrate SAC bases in the Midwest, several down in Texas, and wreaked a hell of a lot of havoc. I'm here to tell you. They opened up the door down here. The whole Cuban and Nicaraguan armies come walking right through, roll right up here through the Great Plains.
How far did they get?
Cheyenne, crossed to Kansas. We held them at the Rockies and at the Mississippi. Anyway, the Russians reinforced with 60 divisions. Sent 3 whole army groups across the Bering Strait into Alaska, cut the pipeline, came across Canada to link up here in the middle, but we stopped their butt cold.
Here's the twist to that. Where did that go off? Come on. Here's the twist to that. So that's fictitious, right? It's the first movie, Red Dawn. But it's China that's going to be helping. China is already helping. China, you know, Tucker Carlson just went to the border. Right? He just went out there and he spoke to and had an interview with Vladimir Putin. And Vladimir Putin said a lot of stuff. But before I continue about what a few of the things that he said, what you need to know is that Hollywood has been painting Russia as the biggest enemy of our country forever. But I wonder what country lost the most people in the Second World War, against Hitler. Do you know who that was? 20 million 20 million 20 million citizens and a bunch of fucking troops died. And we had like 530 something thousand that died. These people fought, and we're talking Russia, Soviet Union, fought for everybody's freedom. There were countless countries that were alongside of these people. The Democrats want you to think that Russia is the worst thing in the world. Look, they're not perfect. They do stupid shit. But they kind of stay to their own. They don't have 850 fucking bases all over the world. We do. They have like 12, external bases. China has 10 or something, 22. I don't know. Something like, 2-digit numbers. I'm telling you. The World Economic Forum right now and their plan is for things to get bad. And they want it to get bad because if it gets bad enough, then Pedo Joe can create martial law and put a stop to the election. Woohoo! And there's something. Before I leave, I wonder if I have it here. I'm gonna find this. Let me just grab it because it's something that was really important. It was kind of like every time I think about this shit, I think about I think about, let's see here, open messenger. All right. I want to show you this picture here first. All right. This picture here is very important because what this says. Now, real quick, back to Tucker. I'm just going to tell you. They're threatening him if he comes back as a spy. When some of the greatest, hey Cheryl, some of the greatest freaking journalists, real journalists, have risked their lives to speak with an enemy known at the time, then maybe found out what the real problem is. The reason why we don't like journalists to go out and talk to people across the world, why do you think that is? I want you to answer that. Why not get the other side? Like I always said, there's three sides to every story. There's this side, that side, and the perception of the truth. You know, you're basically becoming kind of the judge and jury, so you don't really know what happened because you weren't there. But if you get this person's story and the other person's story, you have to try to see in a bigger picture of what happened from your perspective. And that's the thing we don't want to happen. This is the Democrats are very, and the Republicans and the duopoly basically, they're very good at this. They don't want you to know what's really fucking going on out there. They don't. They don't. Let me find this real quick. Where is it? Where did I do with that? I'm going to refresh here. What the hell is that crap? I gotta watch this one real quick. Hold on.
Our media culture often mocks and demeans people of faith, and you understand that.
Lots of wars taking place right now, and it keeps the... Hi there. I am a never Trumper. Why, you might ask? Let me tell you why. You see, I am actually enjoying the war between Russia and Ukraine, and the war also happening in the Middle East. Lots of wars taking place right now, and it keeps things exciting. And I know Trump would try to end that. I'm also a never Trumper because Trump has promised to secure our southern border. And I'm a people person. I love it that we have millions and millions of people crossing our southern border illegally. Yeah, some of them might be terrorists or drug traffickers or human traffickers, but some of them might not be. Yes, and I understand the rise in fentanyl deaths is due to our open border, but maybe this is teaching people not to do drugs. I'm also a never Trumper because Trump has business experience, and business experience could really turn this economy around. See, I don't want the economy to turn around. I think it's healthy for Americans to live paycheck to paycheck and learn to cut coupons. It's taught Americans to be resourceful, and that's a good thing. So I think career politicians, or people who have no experience running anything at all, should be the ones that we elect to run our country. I'm a never Trumper because Trump says things that bother me, and I don't vote on policy. I vote on my feelings. I'm a never Trumper because Trump says that he wants to put America first, and that means that another country is going to come in second, and that country's feelings are going to be hurt. And I'm a never Trumper because the idea of owning nothing, eating bugs, and being promised happiness from the elites is appealing to me. So join me in this never Trump movement. Vote your feelings.
This chick is awesome. She's also the one that, I don't know if you guys remember, the one that goes, oh, it's for the greater good. We put the max, oh, it's for the greater. We took this thing in our arm, oh, it's for the greater good. We said we're 6 feet, say, oh, it's for the greater good. Right? That was epic when she did that. That was epic. But it's good work. And it pretty much shows where people are at. Now, I'm going to say this, and I want you to know that I'm an independent, right? I've always been an independent. As a matter of fact, I just saw Dennis Kucinich was on last night or tonight or something on Jimmy Dore, and he's going independent. He doesn't want to, he doesn't. Look, I've always said, and I've posted this many, many fucking times, right? Okay, this is an important picture. I'll show you the reason for that. What the fuck did I do with it? Of course it's gone. There it is. There it is. Here it is. George Washington adamantly said in his speech, and I'll just read it to you real quick. Let's see, I'll bring myself in here so you like it matters. I have already intimated to you the danger of parties in the state, with particular reference to the founding of them on geographical discriminations. Let me now take a more comprehensive view and warn you in the most solemn manner against the baneful effects of the spirit of party generally. It kind of goes on and on, but basically that's where he's stating that there shouldn't be parties. I'm all about that. There should not be parties. It's just a way of tricking you to think that this side's better than that side and that side's better than this side. But in our current process, that's what we have. So we're going to have to vote. And if you're not going to go vote, then Trump doesn't fucking need it. I can tell you now, because he has probably easily over 80 million people that are going to fucking vote for him. And I guarantee that Biden's going to have at least 30,000 people. Maybe 30 million. That'll probably vote for him. But the numbers will probably change. Something will probably happen. And you won't see an actual fucking election. I'm telling you. And it's because of these fuckers here. Now, I'll show you. Right? These people, there's a lot of people here that don't want Trump in office. Right? This is the top. And this is important because this is the way it is. This is the way it is. And, if I have to keep giving this lesson to you guys over and over, I'm going to keep doing it. This is what it would look like if the government was actually transparent. They do not work for us, nor have they. They're not. I mean, and I want people to go look up Citizens United, because that's the ability for pretty much any global predator class sick fuck out there to channel money or get money in or not be accounted for, or no transparency, or just getting money into candidates to manipulate them from these large companies like Goldman Sachs, the the Council on Foreign Relations, World Economic Forum, Raytheon, BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, Fidelity, Rothschilds, insurance companies, just Koch brothers. I mean, just fucking name it. Right? Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They all use these fuckers, Fox News, CNN, to get you to fucking do whatever they want you to do, because you're gonna watch them. You like their big giant freaking theaters and studios. You just love that because you know that their studios are built with your money, right? Not really. They're built with you buying these companies' crap, and these giant companies that support and pay for the salaries of these fuckers, okay, of these so-called journalists and pundits and hosts of mainstream. And right here, you got CNN, big fucking giant studio. You got PBS. You got MSNBC. You got Fox News. You got fucking, you name it. They're all in here, right? But the thing is, the predator class and the corporate governance pay for the controls the mainstream media, $1 billion bills. Not you. They I didn't say that right on there. Anyway, but they pay for them to say what they need to say, so that you will be in fear or be lured or be tricked or be fooled or played And that's been their play for a long fucking time. A long ass fucking time. You know, I mean, if this is hard to follow, I don't know what to tell you, but it's not really hard to follow. It's pretty self-explanatory on how this shit works and how they've been doing it and how they've been tricking you for a long ass fucking time and how they've used the money against you and they've taken your money. And I think I had the one in here, which I think I should hopefully find, which is shows how much they get paid. These so-called journalists and news hosts, etc., etc., etc. They're just not there. If you think they're there for you, then you're being fucking just totally fooled. Totally fooled. Because they're not. Right? They're not. They don't give a shit about you. They've never given a shit about you. You, to them, are collateral damage. They don't care. As long as they get their money, as long as they get their way, you are just in the way. You're really in the way lately, honestly. They've been trying to get rid of the population for a long time, and now they've got Bill Gates and John Podesta taking over for John Kerry for climate change justice, right? Because you know they can change the temperature of the Earth, but they can't cure climate change. That's pretty amazing, don't you think? That's pretty amazing. Yeah. Let me just see here. God, I know I had that up here. I've got to look through my collage, and I don't really prepare these things because it's my Friday. I fucking did a lot going on. So where is it? Maybe I don't have it. That's very odd because I know I had that list. Well, anyway. So let's get back to this real quick, and let me kind of show you what's really going on. Okay, right? And this is where you're like, what the fuck is this crap? It didn't start with gas chambers. Okay, the authoritarian power that was the SS or the Third Reich or Hitler's movement and stuff. It didn't start with gas chambers. It was very subtle at first. They started getting rid of political people. They started throwing them in jail for the most frivolous reasons. Sound familiar? They started putting people in jail that actually had a shot and were very well known. Political figures, even celebrities. People that spoke out were incarcerated or they were killed. They went to that. It got pretty heavy. It started with one party controlling the media. That's pretty much it. That's how it really started. See, that's where I'm really trying to go. And one party controlling the message, right? The message you hear every day. The message that you see, hear, taste, touch, feel. It's everywhere. It's the marketing. If you understand any business, without marketing, most businesses can't make it. It's just hard. Whether it's through an app or it's through a social website, Facebook, Twitter, X now, Instagram, whatever, TikTok, whatever, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. And that's very powerful, right? One party dividing citizens into us versus them. Okay, so that's, like I said, the bane of parties is parties are just this is part of the process. They want to keep you here and keep you there. So I think what they've always tried to do, and this has been a process that they've been using for a long time, but they used it here during the rise of Hitler. Okay, and calling on their supporters to harass them. It started when good people turned a blind eye and let it happen. That's what happened. Right? You just got sucked into this psyop, this giant fucking mass formation psychosis. Look that up. This giant marketing program that they're still using on many people. I mean, there are people who won't talk to anymore because I'm just trying to tell them, hey man, just, I wouldn't take that thing because, by the way, it's indemnified. Do you know what that means? Kinda. Well, let me explain. If I gave you a toaster, if I built and manufactured a toaster, and I didn't have any studies on it, and the tests and the documentation of the studies were terrible, and it didn't really toast, didn't really brown anything, didn't really work, but what it did do is it caused fires in your house, from all our tests found out, and it was just really one of the most dangerous products you could ever buy. It's called the super, let's call it the COVID toaster, right? So this COVID toaster, you found out, was completely indemnified. That means you can't sue when you take it home. They give it to you. They mandated it. Your company did or whatever. So you took the thing, and then you find out that there's a lot of things happening with you that aren't good, and a lot of things that physically just aren't working. And then you find out that this toaster blows up every fucking time you plug it in, and it causes a fire. But guess what? You can't sue you can't sue me, the manufacturer. Can't sue the manufacturer. Can't sue the company that sold it. Can't sue anybody. It's indemnified. So a lot of people fell for that, and it's just still amazing to me. And a lot of people, it's anyway. And this is how it all starts. And this is why that correlates with this is they're not using this toaster, let's say it's a toaster, okay, to make money off of it. Of course, the money is a perk, right? Yeah. If you only knew I think it's like 1.8 trillion has gone to in some aspect of manufacturing of Fluvid-19 or some kind of one of their toasters, right? They're safe and effective toasters. And it's crazy. And they've gotten so much fucking money. That's fine. But it helps their agenda. It helps their long-term agenda. It's to just take over. Just go on their website. Go on the World Economic Forum website and just go through a few pages, and every once in a while type in, hit Control F, and then type in corporate governance. And you'll start to see it pop up everywhere. And this is what BlackRock is doing, and this is what Fidelity is doing, and this is what JP Morgan is doing, and this is what State Street is doing, and this is what the Council on Foreign Relations is doing. This is what the World Health Organization and Bill Gates are doing. This is what they're doing. It's not really just about the money, because their end goal, and this is the tough part for a lot of people, this is the toughest part to get, is, and all this other stuff, the lunacy of the trans and all this other stuff, depopulation, right? And I'm kind of skipping ahead here because I'm kind of making this short. But tomorrow night, and let me just get to my point. And I'm going to say it again. Their end game, and I've done the research. I've looked at all the fucking information. If you go to fthewf.org, DIYliberty.org, you're going to see it. It's in there. All these documentations, all these things that I put on the blogs. It shows what their end game is, and the only conclusion is, and they've even bragged about it. They've talked about it. Depopulation. So there's me and you on a planet, and one of us says, hey, we need to depopulate. Now I want you to think about that. I'm going to leave you with that thought. Remember, there's only two people on a planet, and one of them says we need to depopulate. What is that? What is really happening? So their end game is to get rid of about 2/3 of the Earth's population and hoard the rest for themselves, because it's a lot easier to control 1 billion or 2 billion than it is to control 8 billion. And hoard the rest for themselves. They purposely created this fucking thing that happened early 2020. They purposely created in 2021, or even before all this happened, they already had this fucking toaster ready to go. Right? They had that ready to go years before. You know, they've tried this before. Look up, Cloud Access, look up that, look at the SPARS document. If you need any of this information, let me know. And I'll tell you, I've got it all. There's a lot of people that understand what I'm talking about. A lot of people that really know that's what they're fucking doing. Right? They need these wars. They need Yemen. They need Ukraine. They need Israel. They need fucking Iran. They need all these fucking wars so they can keep building their fucking bunkers. They can keep building their smart city processes. They can keep creating these Maui Lahaina situations that are happening. You know, there's just it's crazy, but it's happening. They're doing it. That's the thing that people just can't understand is, they're just trying to get rich. No, they don't fucking need your labor anymore, man. You know how much $1 trillion is? You know that fucking BlackRock is worth like $2 trillion. You know, some of these people are so fucking rich, these predator class motherfuckers. They just don't need you anymore. They have assets and control, and they operate and own now more than ever the CIA, the fucking FBI, the Department of Justice. You know, thank you to fucking pedo Joe, who's just a puppet. He's one of their puppets. Obama's just another puppet who probably gets a lot of the instructions directly from the sources of these sick of fuckers out there, and then phones it in and puts it in the earpiece of pedo Joe and says, you need to say that. No, not that, you moron. For fuck's sakes, just enunciate what you're supposed to fucking say. But it doesn't happen because he's just the best puppet you could ever have for a new world order. He is perfect. That's why they've chosen him. That's why they created the 2020 process of extending the election processes. Yeah, no, Trump absolutely won. Absolutely. I've got tons of information on that too. I've challenged many people to come on the show. Left, right, left, middle, center, liberal, whatever. You know, if you don't think that's the case of what I'm saying, then prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. That's the problem is Tucker Carlson right now is being threatened to be apprehended by Homeland Security for having an interview with a enemy, I guess, right? To who? According to who? Right? According to who are all these enemies out there? According to who? Do you truly believe, and this is the biggest part, do you truly believe that the 99.9% of the people on this planet, excluding the 0.001%, wants war, wants famine, wants homelessness, wants a decent living wage, wants, I mean, if it were to the people, right? I mean, there are countries in Europe where there's paint on the ground separating like 3 different countries. And there's a deli or delicatessen or some kind of restaurant that half of the restaurant is one country and the other half is another country. And they all live in peace. You know, look up Smedley Butler. That's his real name. He's a commander, colonel, or something like that, and he was in the military. and the just Smedley Butler. And his greatest book that he created was War is a Racket, meaning that it's for profit. Big pharma is a racket, right? Big psychology is a racket. Big elderly care is a racket. Big insurance, the list goes on and on and on. But in this particular day and age, these people are just trying to get rid of us. They don't need your labor. They don't need your vote. They don't need you. They don't need you anymore. And that's hard for a lot of people to understand. It's very hard, right? They didn't need these people, right? This giant machine of pure authoritarianism. Now, I'm not talking about capitalism. I'm not talking about socialism. I'm not talking about, we're talking authoritarianism, which is like you do what you fucking are told to do, and that's it. You will eat the bugs. You will own nothing and be happy. You will live in our cities where we tell you to. This is it. This is their push. It's happening now. Many cannot comprehend this. If you've been to this channel for the very first time in your life, you're probably just going, what the fuck is this crazy motherfucker talking about? But if you ask me, I would be more than happy to have you on, and I can explain it to you. It might take a few minutes. It could take an hour or two, honestly. But I could show you all the documents. I could show you the historical documents of how they built this and how they're doing it and how they want it to work. There are things happening in this world that many people just have no idea that it's actually real. Some things are. I'm not talking about aliens, and I'm not talking about flat Earth crap. Moon landing, which I'm still a little skeptical of, or people from lizard skins or demons and all this other shit. I just, an asshole is just always an asshole. Let's just get that out of the way. I don't care what dogma or theism or cult or group or party or, society you're in or whatever, clan, whatever. You make the last decision. Remember that. That's the most important thing that I want people to always know, is that it's you are the one that make that final decision that says, I don't give a fuck, I'm an asshole, fuck you, or I care. Let's compromise. I'm gonna put a little toleration on myself. Let's come to terms. What can we do to make this work so everybody's, in an agreement. Not everybody gets what they want, but that's part of a give and take thing. It's just the way our nature is, And I'm not saying that everybody's going to be perfect in a process of compassion and joy and love and all this other shit. That's just not going to happen. But we can try. We can fucking try, right? Can we try to be a little honest with each other, a little more transparent? Can we be a little more tolerant? Can we also be a little more open about your culture and what you do and this and that? But if you're hurting children, and if you're trying to kick me off of the planet that you're also on, then you're gonna have a fucking problem. You're gonna have a problem. I've already talked about in the past population. That's not the problem. There's no fucking population problem, right? We have a who we're funding problem. Who has control of the CERN, the Hadron Colliders across the world? There's a bunch of them. There's not just a few. There's a bunch of them. And what they're doing with that technology, what fucking Elon Musk is doing with these fucking Flash Gordon type fucking rockets crap. We have technology to do a lot of things. There's a lot of theories that are out there that warp speed is actually something that seems to be feasible. Seems bending time and space. You know, the thing about aliens is really good to me because I love this. So I'm an alien. No, I'm not an alien. What I'm saying is, let's just say I'm an alien, right? And I'm able to travel through time and space, snap of my finger, or fingers, or tentacles, whatever. And you know what? I'm gonna go to fucking Earth because that place, it's a fucking sideshow. It's a great zoo to watch. That's for sure. That's for sure. But why would I want to fucking stop that show from happening? Right? It's a joke. They go anywhere. They can see the greatest, most gigantic planets, just whatever they want to fucking do. You think they want to come here? You think they want what we got? Nah. Don't just. Every time they see this fucking UFO alien shit, and you know, in the past few years, mainstream media has just exposed a lot of alien shit. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah. Why do you think that is? Just out of nowhere. You know what? What the fuck is in Roswell, Area 51? What? You know, we're gonna find out now. Ugh, come on, people. Stop being distracted. You know, like a little kitty cat that's fucking following that, you know, laser light pen across the carpet or the linoleum floor. It's hilarious to watch. But that's most of us right now. We're being dragged to Ukraine, dragged to Israel, dragged to here, dragged here. Follow the fucking light pen. Right? But here's where we're at right now. And here's where I'm at. And you may have a problem with this. But there's a guy right now that has been presented as the most diabolical, evil person on the planet. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Donald Trump. Well, prove it. Has he been convicted? No. How many counts are against him by Democratic financed entities, groups, parties, cults, whatever? 91. Has he been convicted? No. Right? Did Russiagate, was that real? No, it wasn't. They found out it wasn't real. They've admitted it to it. Oh wait, now there is. They've admitted that there is actually a Hunter Biden laptop. Holy fuck. Have you seen what's on Anthony Weiner's laptop either? Which they won't expose. If, like I keep saying, if you have so much information on a man, then expose it all. FBI, Homeland Security, Department of Justice. If you've got all this stuff that you've claimed supposedly, then let's see it all. Open up. Oh, wait. January 6th committee. They deleted everything. Isn't that interesting? They literally deleted, or said they deleted all their files. Like 117 really big files of information. And then when you watch the fucking 40,000 hours plus of J6, you find out that that was the big giant setup. A gigantic setup. If you've seen the tours of people being let in to the chambers, look at some of my shows. I've shown it. It's all fucking right there. And now, right now, they're threatening to not let Tucker Carlson back to the United States because he talked to Putin. And Putin had some things that would probably ruin the Democrats and their fucking pedo-predator class type friends' lives. There's a sickness out there, people. There's a sick group of people. I'm just going to say this. 95, close to 100, over 95% of the people that went to Epstein Island went to Epstein's Island. If you understand what that island did and what they were doing there, I need you to look it up if you don't. It's important, right? 95% of those people that went to Epstein Island, and by the way, Trump never went. I know there's Photoshop this and Photoshop that, but he never went. I've got more than proof to show that. Right? But they hate him because he's going to expose them. He's going to expose the sickness. Now, here's the thing I really want you to think about. So you hate The Sound of Freedom, a movie about child trafficking. You just weren't about that. I went and saw it. I paid for it. I wanted the proceeds that they were using to go to the people that actually catch these sick fucks like Jeffrey Epstein. Right? But why would you not want to see that? Why would you not want to see those people in jail? Do you have children? I do. They're grown, man. They can definitely defend themselves, and they have the fucking things to do it. But I have grandkids now. Right? And I care very much about them. And I want them to be safe. I want them to be away from the sickness of the pedo-predator class. Because it's out there. It's huge, gigantic. Again, 95% of the people that went to fucking Epstein Island freaking hate Trump. Are scared of Trump. Have already said they're going to leave the country if Trump comes here. What does that really say? Has anybody thought about that? Right? So almost all of them that have been to Epstein Island, and you know what Epstein Island was for, and it wasn't just one island. People that were on the boats, people that went to different hotels, located. I mean, it wasn't just fucking an island. And those people don't like Donald Trump, and they're afraid of him. Why do you think they're afraid of him? Why do you think they're so fucking scared of Donald Trump right now? Why? Because he's going to expose them. And they know it. They fucked him really bad in 2020. He fucking got sold by fucking Fauci in 2020, 2021. He knows it. He got played. He knows it. People are telling him. I know somebody that people are telling him. He's so done with the fucking toaster. Okay, remember the analogy of the toaster. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Fuck the bipartisan shit. Don't give anything to the Democrats. None of that goddamn money goes to the United States of America's people. None of it. Aloha. Thank you for being here. I'll be on tomorrow night, 8 Hawaiian time. I'm going to have a good friend of mine on, his Connie Pa, Trump supporters. Right? And we are going to have a wonderful conversation.